This is Priscilla with C Speak Excellent English. Today I will be reading Call of the Wild by Jack London. Buck did not read the newspapers, or he would have known that trouble was brewing, not alone for himself, but every Tidewater dog, strong of muscle and with warm, long hair, from Puget Sound to San Diego. Because men, groping in the Arctic darkness, had found a yellow metal, and because steamship and transportation companies were booming the find, thousands of men were rushing into the Northland. These men wanted dogs, and the dogs they wanted were heavy dogs, with strong muscles by which to toil and furry coats to protect them from the frost. Buck lived at a big house in the sun-kissed Santa Valley. Judge Miller's place, it was called. It stood back from the road, half hidden among the trees, through which glimpses could be caught of the wide, cool veranda that ran around its four sides. The house was approached by gravel driveways, which wound about through wide spreading lawns and under the interlacing boughs of tall poplars. At the rear, things were on even a more spacious scale than at the front. There were great stables, where a dozen grooms and boys held forth, rows of vine-clad servants' cottages, an endless and orderly array of outhouses, long grape arbors, green pastures, orchards, and berry patches. Then there was the pumping plant for the artesian well, and the big cement tank where Judge Miller's boys took their morning plunge and kept cool in the hot afternoon. That is part 1 of Chapter 1, Call of the Wild. What I'd like to do now is to take a look at the pictures so that we can get a real clear understanding of what these words are. Then I want you to go back and reread the story and see if you have a clearer understanding of each and every word. Number 1, brew. If we look at the picture of number 1, we see a brewery. This is where beer is made. The purpose of using this image is to say that to start something that has a fine taste, that is of quality, you must start with the very basics. So something is about to take place in the story, but it has a beginning. Number 2. When we look at number 2, we see the word groping. Groping means to touch in an area that is usually inappropriate. But in this story, the word grope means to search for something in the darkness. Number 3, booming. When something is going up in value, we consider it booming. Number 4, toil. Toil is a heavy burden of labor. It's a task, but the strong are able to endure. Number 5 is frost. Frost is the thin layer of ice that is found on items in the cool winter months. Number 6 is the veranda. The veranda is that portion of a house that is usually covered by a hooded topping. The veranda is actually the seating area. Number 7 is gravel. Those are tiny stones found on the ground that you walk on. Number 8. And let's see, do we have a number 8? I don't have a number 8, so let's go on to number 9. Number 9 is lattice. This is where you see an interweaving of information. It could be an interweaving of sticks or fabric, but it's something that is interwoven together. Number 10. Number 10 is a tank. In this case, it's a swimming pool, but in the time of Buck, it was just a big cement tank that the students or the children jumped in to cool themselves off. Number 11, plunge. You dive right into it, get involved. Number 12 is cottages. This is a series of homes or little houses, and they are covered with little vines growing around them. 13 is an arbor. This is a place where you could hang grapes or grow grapes. And number 14, the dogs have furry coats. They're walking on ice, so they need spacious. This is lots of area that you can just wander around. This is somewhat like an arbor also, where grapes and other fruits could grow. 16 could be berry patches where berries are grown in an area. I have another 15 at the top right, which is an orchard where fruits are grown, and in this case this is an orchard of apples. Now that takes us to the end of our vocabulary words. I hope this helps when you reread the story, that you can understand what this portion is about. Thanks for listening. This is Priscilla with C. Speak Excellent English.